High-performing jerks are one of the biggest problems at companies today, especially corporate companies that won't get rid of them because of their high production and what they're doing for the company's numbers. So why is this such a problem for companies, and how do we get around it as leaders? So let's talk about this. So pretty much everybody at some point in their career has worked with a high-performing jerk. What is that? Maybe that's somebody that's a top salesman, top marketer, top production employee, but treats other people badly. It might be a manager, director, VP, or C-suite person that has a ton of power and can affect other people's pay, promotions, and jobs, and thinks they can talk really badly to other people, be demoralizing to them, talk down to them, talk like they're better than them. Whenever they get upset, they blow up. They're just really toxic, and companies absolutely have to get rid of these people. So how does this even happen that we have these people around that companies don't get rid of? So let me give you a little bit of a twist on this so you can think about it from the company side, and then I'll talk to you about how it feels on the employee side and what we can do about it. So from the company side, it's very hard to see. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say you're the CEO or the owner of a company, and you have a really high-performing salesperson, director, VP, head of sales, anything. That person is the only person that's hitting that metric that might be the ultimate metric to tier up to get, the ultimate sales award. They probably are winning awards in the company, something like that. And you're like, man, this is the highest production person in this vertical that we have. This person's incredible. The only person that really gets it. Look how hard they work. Look how productive they are. So they have status, and people look up to them and are like, man, this person is great. So in their eyes, it's great. Also, this person is not going to treat the owner, the CEO, the VP, director, or C-suite above them badly. They're going to treat the people at their level, especially the people below them, badly because they think they can and they can get away with it because nobody checks them on it. Now, why doesn't anybody check them on it? It's actually harder than you think. Why is that? So let's say you've got 3 people on a team and you've got Bob, and Bob is killing it. He's the top salesman, and let's say maybe he's a team lead. So Bob treats his team like crap, and there's 3 people on that team that have had enough of it. So they go to Bob's manager after trying to talk to Bob multiple times about how he treats people. Bob blows them off. It's like, well, maybe if you hit your numbers like me, it wouldn't be a problem. So they go to Bob's manager, and the 3 of them, and they're like, Bob treats everybody like crap. He talks down to us. It's very demoralizing to work here. We are all looking for other jobs. Like, we want to be here, but we can't stand working for Bob. He treats everybody terribly. And now what might the manager be thinking? Now, the manager might go, oh, that's horrible. I'm not going to put up with anybody being treated like that. Somebody in HR like me, or that's a hiring manager like me, won't put up with that. But somebody up above might go, well, Bob's the only person that's hitting their numbers. So why might he think that these 3 people are in his office? He might think, well, maybe these people aren't hitting their numbers. Maybe Bob's been hard on him. He's the only one that's holding him accountable. Maybe these people are jealous of Bob. Now, here's where it really gets complicated for that manager above Bob. It might be both. Bob might be treating people like crap. He might be the only one hitting his numbers, all that. And these people might be jealous of him at the same time. So it's a very complicated issue to wade into to try to fix. So ultimately, though, no matter what, you can say, yes, you can hold. By the way, I've been in management for over half of my career. I can hold people accountable. I can make sure that they hit their numbers. I can make sure that they do their jobs, all while talking to them just like I'm talking to you right now. I don't need to raise my voice. I don't need to be belligerent. I don't need to talk down to them. I don't need to swear. I don't need to name call. I don't need to make them feel like pieces of crap. I can do everything that I'm doing right now in this tone of voice with no problem. And so people know I'm serious. After I talk to them like that, I'll send in an email to reinforce what we talked about to make sure that we're on the same page, so I have it documented, timed, and dated. Now, see how easy that was? That's not difficult. So you can do this. You can discipline people. You can keep them in line. You can make sure that people do their jobs without treating them badly, because I just did it right now in the video, right? So here's the point of this. If you're a manager, if you're an owner, if you're C-suite, if you're in any kind of a leadership role, and people are like, hey, Bob really treats people badly, and you look the other way, you don't do something, or you just give Bob a little bit of a talking to, you have failed your company. You have failed your most valuable resource, which is your people. People, the number one reason that folks leave their jobs in America in 2025, this is somebody in HR for 23 years, is because they don't get along with their manager and their manager treats them badly. It's not comp. It's not benefits. It's not perks. It's not even employee appreciation, which it should be. It's because their manager treats them badly. So, and you want to see the difference? Go and have HR pull for you a turnover report by manager for your whole organization. You'll see there's managers with hardly any turnover, and you'll see there's managers with over 20 or 30%. Why is that? How is that possible? It's because there's certain managers that treat people like crap. those are the people that you need to get rid of. It doesn't matter how big their production is. How can I say that? Okay, well, let me tell you something. You have a couple of choices with this person. Number one is if their production is so high, put them back to being an individual contributor. Get them away from having to manage other people or work with other people. They can go produce and they can be a jerk and they can be in the corner. That's one. Number two is that you can fire them. You can fire them, and what will happen is you cut that big tree down and everybody else gets sunlight and comes up now together. And the work environment is happy and people produce and people do their best and people feel valued and people know that you actually care about them, have morals and ethics because you protected your employees. What else do you do from here? Well, if you can't do either of those two or you don't want to do either of those two, there is something else you can do. And it's a half step, but let me give you the technique. So instead of sitting Bob down and being like, hey, everybody says you treat him like crap, you're the best production person, blah, 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 blah. Instead, try to focus on a couple of behaviors. Sit down and say to Bob, hey, give him no more than 2 or 3 things. Be like, I want you to do 2 or 3 things for me from now on because people are really complaining a lot about you. I'm sick of hearing it. I want you here because you're production, but I can't have these complaints anymore. So I want you to alter these 2 or 3 behaviors. And what kind of behaviors are we talking about? You might be like, well, people say that when you walk in the morning, you don't say hi to them. How hard is it to take 2 seconds to say hi to everybody that says hi to you? Or to say bye at the end of the day? Or, if people ask communally to go to lunch once a week and you're the only one that doesn't go, to be like, yeah, I'll go get lunch. It's not that hard. Make the work environment better for everybody so we can all survive, so we can all get paid, so we can all feed our families. And if it's something else like, you're the best salesman, then be like, do me a favor. I want you just to take a half hour once a week and grab a different member of the team every week and just have them shadow you. Be like, hey, I'm doing some sales calls today. I noticed that you're working on your numbers. You want to come sit with me for a half hour and watch some of my calls and try to get some best practices? Let's share techniques. Let's share some wins. Have them sit with you for half an hour. What will happen if you just make a couple of changes? Actually, a couple of changes. You saying hello and goodbye at the day, maybe contributing to the potluck, going to lunch once a month, you sitting with somebody for a half hour and showing them something that they're doing badly that you're winning at. All of a sudden, the narrative changes very quick. Oh, Bob helped me. Bob was nice to me the other morning. Yeah, Bob's great. He's always so busy, but he said bye to me the other day. He's cool. It's not that hard to fix. So you can fix it, but you only have 3 options. 1 is to have them change a couple of behaviors. 2 is to make them an individual contributor. And 3 is to get rid of them. Now, if it's up to me, I have a no jerks rule. I'm a CHRO of about 1,000-person company. I have a no jerks rule. It doesn't matter what level the person is at. It doesn't matter if they're a great individual contributor, a team lead, a director, a VP, or C-suite. If they don't treat other people with respect, if they're not kind and decent human beings, I will get rid of them. Not everybody has that power in an organization. So if you're a manager that somebody brings this to, I heavily suggest that you listen to them and then take that and fix it with one of those 3 solutions that we came up with together. Let me know if you've worked under a high-performing jerk and how you handled it.